What are the vulnerabilities associated with respect to cyber threats for India? So you see, why India is vulnerable? So the question is, why India is vulnerable? First point here is that approximately 840 million internet subscribers are there today, and students, India is at the second position throughout the world in terms of highest number of users, highest number of internet users in the world. The first position is held by China, where approximately 15 million users are there. But India is at the second position, and it is expected that India would be having approximately 974 million internet subscribers by 2025. Now, this is one of the reasons that the increasing number of internet subscribers, internet users are there. So definitely we are very much vulnerable. Second point that you can mention is the Digital India program. Under this program, what government is trying to do? Government is trying to digitize everything, all its services, and because of this reason also our digital services, government services, since they are getting to be digital in time and again they have progressed, India has progressed in this aspect, India becomes vulnerable. Third aspects, you can say whatever attacks that have happened, they have increased. I have given you the data of NCRP, the crimes of cyber crimes in the previous part only. I've given you that particular data in the previous part also. Since I've already told you about all this, so you can mention those points also in this particular topic if this question directly is being asked to you. But I will give you some examples. And these are the examples that I have not told in the previous video. For example, Union Bank of India heist attack of 2016. The employee received an email, and due to the carelessness, the email was clicked, and because of which crores of the rupees, there was a heist, actually bank lost. So this was one of the very big examples. In addition, example of this is first, this is second, Petya ransomware. So this particular ransomware in 2017 attacked Mumbai Jawaharlal Nehru port, particularly a Danish firm was attacked. Okay, so this is another example. I have given you example of WannaCry ransomware of 2017. I have given you example of Zomato, where the number of subscribers or the particular users of Zomato, it happened in 2017 first of all, where the data was breached. Not just Zomato, there are other examples like JustPay. I have given you this example. Big Basket, if you are aware of, Big Basket is a company where 20 million users data was breached. Then Mobivic is there, Airtel was there, and number of examples are there. So we can see that this is how we can say that India is very much vulnerable, and these are the aspects that you can go through. Now, what are the key reasons behind such vulnerabilities? Why India is vulnerable and what are the reasons behind? So India is vulnerable, you come to know, but the reasons behind are, First point, there is somewhere lack of unified efforts. These unified efforts are lagging at all levels, at the domestic level, at the international cooperation level. So you see that there are so many agencies, and sometimes it becomes difficult to interact among the different agencies and exchange the information, and because of which we see that such crimes are happening and India is becoming vulnerable. Second point is there is shortage of trained workforce. So whatever workforce we are working with, it is not that much trained, and with respect to the new forms of crimes, cyber crimes that are increasing and new ways are increasing. That is a very much important point. Third is lack of advanced security or secured devices, I would say. You see, in India, it is being said that only 1% of the mobile users, they have access to mobile phone higher security norms, or they fulfill such norms, and that is why our devices, our mobile phones, our laptops, they are very much vulnerable to such attacks, because we do not take these high security, we do not follow these high security norms, and we put these in our mobile phones, so it is very much vulnerable. Next is the threat from imported softwares and hardwares. So students, the problem is that whatever electronic technology is there, yeah, I would say whatever the electronic equipments are there, or technology as well, that we need for our cyber security infrastructure, what we are doing is actually we are procuring it from outside world, from global sources, and because we are procuring them from the global sources, this is the reason that whatever softwares we have, whatever hardwares we have, they are at threat, because what can be done, there can be some malwares that can be attached with this software, and this can harm us. That is why we are vulnerable, because we do not have that capacity of creating our own softwares for cybersecurity. And fifth point is the lack of awareness as well. There is a lack of awareness at the individual level, at the corporation level, because of which there are cyber frauds that are happening, because of which there are cyber crimes that are happening, and even we have lack of awareness regarding the laws and regulations, both at individual and corporation level. So these are the 5 key reasons behind the vulnerabilities. In addition, you can also mention the points of digital India and number of internet subscribers that you can add in addition, definitely. But this is what you will be able to write in your examination actually. If this question is asked to you as a question, you know that question sometimes asked in parts, so this could be one of the parts that could be asked to you. So in students, for 5 marks as a part of the question, you will not have enough space and time to write everything, and that is how what we do, we write in points and we write to the point as well, so that in minimum words we actually give the maximum dimensions to the answer. So this is whatever I am writing here, whatever I am telling you here, this is the only portion that you can address in your answer, and giving 5 to 6 points is sufficient enough if you have given examples as well. So we have taken some examples, and this would be one of the complete answers for your question if such kind of a question is being asked to you tomorrow. Okay students, coming to the next topic, that is what threat do we see from the neighboring countries actually. So students, from the neighboring countries, I would say there are two neighboring countries which we see them as a threat, and one of them is Pakistan and another one is China. It is so obvious, but what you see is you need to give some examples, but you cannot just leave the answer without giving an example. So in 2018, Pakistani hackers, what they did, they compromised in fact 10 Indian websites. Among them was National Aeronautics and Black Lotus Lab, and it was suggested that the Pakistan based hackers, they have targeted the critical infrastructure. So this is what the what appeared on the screen, where it says that hacked by the Pakistan cyber army and Pakistan Zindabad. They actually this kind of a particular screen pop-up came up on the screen. So this is one of the examples what we can see, but yes, China is actually a major threat in comparison for the cyber crimes. One example is of Red Eco and ShadowPad. So what is Red Eco and ShadowPad? These are basically power infrastructure malwares, and they were linked to, it is being said that they were linked to Chinese backed firm. Okay students, so this is one of the examples where Red Eco or ShadowPad, these are the names of those particular kinds of malwares that were attacked to the power infrastructure of the country, and it is being said that they are backed by the Chinese firms. Another example is of Stone Panda. Stone Panda is one example where Chinese hackers, they actually identified the gaps and vulnerabilities in the IT infrastructure for Bharat Biotech. So you know what is Bharat Biotech? It's a very important firm and making vaccines as well, and it was very important to understand whatever the vulnerabilities are there. So this is one of the positive examples where Stone Panda named a group, they identified the gaps and vulnerabilities in the IT group. So it's not an actually attack, it is basically suggesting that what vulnerabilities do the company has in their IT infrastructure. So this is one of the positive examples, but this one is a negative example, that where China is posing a threat on us. Okay students, however in 2015 also there was a company named Fire Eye Firm. This is the name of the company, and this company, what it revealed or suggested, that there is intense activity of hackers from China who are trying to target India and hack many of the websites of India. So this is another example by of Fire Eye Firm in 2015, which revealed such things. So China is somewhere a threat to us, and not just at the physical level, at the border in itself, but also at the cyber crime level as well. Okay, so remember these points. Even these points can be quoted for state sponsored terrorism. You can mention these points there as well. Next topic of discussion is the critical infrastructure system. You should know this is a very important topic, students. This topic can come up as a potential independent question as well. So remember what you should mention first of all in the introduction, and how you must define the critical infrastructure system. So when it comes to defining CIS or CII, I would say at the definition level you will mention that the physical and cyber systems, and assets. So what is critical infrastructure? These are physical and cyber systems and assets that are so vital to a country that their incapacity or destruction it would have a debilitating, very harmful impact, debilitating impact on our national security. First point is obviously on the national security, and also on the economic, social, and in fact political system of the country. So understand very easily that whatever the physical or cyber systems that we have, if they are so vital for the country that if they are attacked, it will harm the national security, economic and social and political systems of the country. That means it is very, very important for us to protect our cyber critical infrastructure. You see, I'll give you examples here, like for example, our banking system is there. So you know, our banking system is interconnected and there is a digital world in itself where banking plays a very important role. You also have some accounts in where you are putting up your money, and then if this number is showing digitally in front of you on an app, banking app or banking website, if it is being hacked, if it is being at a position of destruction, then your information, your personal data, the money that you hold in the banks, it is at stake. So this is so important for our country to have a robust cyber security system for our banking. Not just banking, but there are other examples like utilities that are provided to us. For example, power plants where energy is being distributed, discoms are there, communication systems are there, transport systems are there, where you can talk about airports, railways. Then there is defense and national security, food productions, whatever interconnections and whatever digitalized data is there in our hospitals, healthcare systems, a government where the government is trying to give the digital services to us, Jan Dhan accounts are there. All this is a critical infrastructure sector and this needs to be very much protected. And in addition, what two words that you must understand, one is the rippling effect. If one such critical infrastructure is at destruction, is at stake, then it is going to connect, it is actually interconnected with the other critical infrastructures, and if one is being at a damaged position or one is damaged, one is hacked, one information is leaked, it is going to create a cascade of effect, cascade of destruction effect, and this is called as rippling effect. And indirectly we can say that these critical infrastructures, they are together interdependent on each other, right students, and even a minor destruction can pose a problem. So we have understood the definition of critical infrastructure. Now we must also look at the importance of this particular infrastructure. As I have already told you about the rippling effect and interdependencies, if such critical infrastructure is attacked, then there would be delay, distortion, and even disruption of services. That is a very basic point. If your transport system is impacted, destruction is there at the digital level of the airports, services would be very much somewhere will be delayed and these services will be distorted and they can be misused as well. The information can be misused. Then also I have told you about the cascading effect. This is the importance of the critical infrastructure on the, in fact this cascading effect will be seen on the large part of the population. The third point can be that there would be very much significant economic impact would be seen, and it could lead to conflicts among nations as well, right? And this is one potential example. And lastly, we can say that as a country, we would be at a loss of sensitive and strategic information. So students, we will be losing such sensitive and strategic information which is so vital to us. This will be a problem for our national security as well. Okay, so if it is being asked to you what is the importance of critical infrastructure system, you can mention these points, very important, and you can obviously use this word rippling effect. All right, now I will give you some examples, students. Some examples where we have seen such attacks, and this particular example I have already given you in the part 1 of the video of cybersecurity, that there was a malware infection or malware attack at the IT network of Kundankulam nuclear power plant, which is located in Tamil Nadu. It was in 2019, though initially government denied it, but later on it was said that yes, this particular attack happened, but it is being literally taken care of and there is no damage as such happened. In 2018, we saw that there was attack on the Haryana Discom, and this is again a cyber attack to the critical infrastructure. Such kind of attack also happened in West Bengal, where electricity distribution company was attacked in 2017. It was a ransomware attack. I have already explained you in part 1 what are the types and methods of cybercrime. There I explained you regarding ransomware also. Such a pop-up comes up on the screen, and until unless you pay or you give ransom, this particular screen will be locked. So this was the ransomware in West Bengal. 2017, one malware attack happened on the Tehri Dam in Uttarakhand. This is another example. So 4 examples I have given you, and this will help you in writing a good answer. So if it is being asked to you, what are the types of threat to critical infrastructure? There are basically 2 types. One is the internal threat, and the second one is external threat. So it is easy to understand. If we talk about internal threat, then that means that individuals who have access or having some inside knowledge of the company, they will be they can exploit the vulnerabilities which are there at the end of security, which are the vulnerabilities which are there at the end of systems, at the end of services and product, and they can facilitate it because of having some intentions of causing harm. So you see, if there is any individual who wants to do the harm to the company or the institution, organization, it can do so. They can do it for their hatred or for their personal benefit, right? And these people can be employees, maybe. These people can be, you can say they can be third party as well. If some of the work has been outsourced, and then they can be third party, or maybe they can be people from the supply chain. So we do not know, and this is possible actually. Insider, we can say internal threats. When we talk about external threat, students, then these can be people who are outside the organization, and then they can cause, they can hack the system. They can be individuals, they can be organizations, they can be terrorist groups, they can be foreign governments as well. I have given you example of China and Pakistan. Or they can be some non-state actors, and they want to create the turmoil within the internal security of the country, and they can pose this threat. So bifurcate them in internal and external threats if it is being asked to you that what kind of threats are there and what are the types. Okay, students. Now students, what are the factors which render such kind of attacks, and why these critical infrastructures are preferable targets? So first point is the adversary nations. Yes, we are already aware of this, that Pakistan or China, these are the adversary nations, and they want to take advantage of the situation. But not just in India, we have already seen in part 1 where are different countries they attack to the other nation for maybe having dominance, or they want to have the strategic leverage, or they want to have some kind of the sensitive, they want to have such sensitive information maybe. There are other examples like Russia, which targeted Estonia. I have given you example of bronze soldier statue. Then Russia attacked Georgia as well, right? There was another example of Stuxnet I have given you, where the Iran nuclear facility was targeted, and it was the allegations were on US, that US did it with the Israel country. So this is can be one of the factors, that is why these are the preferable targets. Lack of training, yes, if employee is not trained properly, then due to this carelessness such attacks can happen. So this is another reason, that we maybe somewhere the training is not that much proper. Then third one is the embedded systems. What is embedded systems? Embedded systems are the, when we say embedded system, these are the latest technologies, electronic components, and these electronic components, they are procured via global supply chain, and because of which there can be some kind of tampering, there can be insertion of malicious software. So students, you see that if this is happening and we are procuring these technologies from outside, we are importing it, then we are, first of all I told you that we are vulnerable, and secondly we can become the preferable target for critical infrastructure, because this is going to harm the nation at the greater magnitude than in comparison to other small cyber crimes. So the damage will be more, that is why such crimes are surfacing. Then I have told you about insider threat, that one of the employees can be the reason. It is possible that this particular employee, this particular person who has the access or information about the company organization, can leak it. I'll tell you the types of insider threats. First of all, it could be malicious insider who would like to do it for his or her personal gain. Then there would be some kind of inside agent who will be recruited by the external people so that they can tamper with the vulnerable data. They are recruited from outside. Then there can be a disgruntled employee who wants to take revenge, or maybe personally not happy. And then there would be careless worker who, because of his or her carelessness, such attacks happen. Ultimately, there could be third parties whom the access has been given for support system maybe, or maybe for some outsourcing of the work, and then they do the cheating, and then they do the such kind of attacks, cyber attacks. So this is one of the another, I would say, the factors that is there. Then concealing the origin. What do you mean by concealing the origin? This particular technology, the cyber technology, is basically, it permits attackers to conceal its original making, and that is why it is more lucrative. So if the origin will be unknown, if it is being concealed properly, then it becomes easier for the hackers to do it again and again. And this point is overlapping with this point as well, where there is no conventional restrictions on being in proximity. I mean, you need not to be at the close proximity for doing such cyber attacks. You are person A from X country, you want to attack Y country, and you can do so by sitting in the Z country. So attack is done from Z country by the person of X country and on Y country. So that is why we can say that the proximity is not at all important here, and this is why we can say that these are the kinds of the factors which are actually ensuring that more and more such critical infrastructure attacks are being there, and they are more targeted today. Going forward to the issues and challenges that are associated, one of the challenge is the capability asymmetry. I mean, in India, we totally lack indigenization of the hardware and as well as software cyber tools, basic cyber security tools. And since we take lot of import from the other countries, this way we can say that this is one of the issues that we need to focus on. In addition, individuals within the critical infrastructure, they pose a significant risk, not just the people who are presently working as employees in such kind of organizations, but also past employees. I have also told you about the third party contractors, and I also mentioned regarding the supply chain partners. So how can we build trust on these people who will have some kind of an access actually? So we are in issue, the issue and the challenges are there because these people have access or had access and they are totally aware of the system. Then there is reluctance in sharing information. There are many private companies who feel that even if the cyber attack has happened to them, they are not going to admit it, and they are not even ready to share that information so that the other companies can be in other companies it can be prevented. And why they do so? They feel that the reputation of the company will be at stake, and if they reveal that such kind of a cyber attack happened to their company, they will lose trust of people. That is why we say that there is reluctance somewhere in sharing the information by the companies who have been already attacked, and maybe after years it come across that yes, it happened to them also and happened to them also. Next point is the lack of credible cyber deterrence strategy. Now, when we talk about the deterrence, we can deal it with respect to three parts. First is the deterrence by denial. So, our systems should be robust enough that we should not allow any kind of cyber attack to happen to us, and what we show a resilience against it. Next is the deterrence by engagement and surprise, that we must do the intelligence collection, we must have the information of the operations that are happening about the cyber crimes, like operations, for example, if there is some kind of espionage happening, if there is some kind of cyber crime happening, or there is any kind of disruption in the services. So if hackers are trying to enter into our network, and if they are trying to do some kind of operations of cybercrime and espionage, then we should have the element of surprise to catch them. Such kind of deterrence should be there, and ultimately deterrence by punishment should also be there, because if there is any kind of attack that happened and we catch these attackers and hackers, then we should also be able to punish them, right? So students, in that case, even if I would say, let us say attack happened, So post attack as well, we should have some mechanism of recovery so that the damage can be minimized, right? Right. So this is the credible cyber deterrence mechanism. We should have this. Ultimately, we are not lacking in it. That is why we are saying it as an issue and challenge. And then in COVID-19 also, we have seen that after COVID-19, there has been a shift in such kind of attacks on the small businesses to critical infrastructure, and in fact governments are also there which are being attacked, and this is said by the Interpol that there is much and much more and more increase in such kind of cyber attacks. In addition, students, there are smart sensors and communication technology which is increasing day by day. We are in era of Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, big data analysis, and so we are very much now, so we are enhancing our communication technology to a level where lots and lots of data is going to be generated, and since the digital data is going to be increased tomorrow, we are more prone to cyber attacks, right? So when we talk about the issues and challenges, these are the challenges, these are the issues that needs to be taken care of. And in fact, one word is there, like cloud computing. You are giving a space where you store your photographs, videos and documents, and this is also vulnerable, right? Because it's a digital form. So these are the factors or issues these are the issues and challenges which are there. And what should be the way forward? The point is the way forward. First point is that Government of India should adopt BIS industrial cybersecurity standards. These are the standards which are there at the industrial level, so the industries, they can be protected. Ultimately, we also need to strengthen and increase our allocations for research and development, and budgetary allocations should increase. Second point, so this is first point, this is second point. Third point is that for the discoms, particularly the I would say the particular power sectors, we need to strengthen our power sector of the India, and it needs to be strongly regulated. And we can take example, or we can take positives from the North American Electric Reliability Critical Infrastructure Protection Policy. So you can mention this policy of NERC policy. This particular policy talks about critical infrastructure, asset classification, cybersecurity policies are there, physical asset controls are there. All such things are fundamentals of this kind of a particular policy. This is policy of the North American Electric Reliability Critical Infrastructure Protection. But just like this particular policy, India's power sector also need such kind of a policy. You can quote this example. Then definitely training and awareness programs needs to be increased. Training of the employees, people who are associated, all the stakeholders, and awareness that they should not be careless, they should be vigilant, and there should be always there is always a potential of such kind of attacks, so we need to be ready as well. And for this purpose, we need more cyber workforce. So talent pool needs to be developed. And this particular photograph, you can always write it in the exam that there is a requirement of bridging the gap between talent and skill, and we must focus on this so that sufficient skills and talent is available, and in this way we will be in better position of creating our own systems, equipments, technologies related to cybersecurity, and we will be in that case less vulnerable tomorrow. So this is the way forward with respect to the topic critical infrastructure protection. Very important topic, students. Do not take it for granted. This can be one of the points in the complete answer, or this can be an individual question as well. Next topic of discussion is, students, steps taken by the government. So we will take care that we will ensure that first we understand what are the legislative measures taken by the government, and next we will discuss the particular institutional framework. At the institutional level, what steps have been taken by the government. So first, with respect to legislative measures, first point is Information Technology Act of 2000. It was also amended in 2008. So what are the salient features, some basic features about the acts I must tell you, and these are the features that were done or added after 2008. So first point is that digital signature, what government did is digital signatures, they has been replaced with electronic signature. Okay, to make it more a neutral act. Okay students, first point, what is the change? Digital signature, they've been replaced with electronic signature. Second is the elaboration or the elaborate the particular offences and penalties and breaches. So what government has done, that the offences, the punishment, the penalties, the breaches, they have elaborated it in this particular amendment. In addition, there is an outline for the justice dispensation system. For cyber crimes. In addition, there is a new section that has been added, and it is called as cyber cafe. So what this section is, the word cyber cafe has been defined actually, and it is defined as any facility where the access to internet particularly is offered to any person, okay, or business member in public particularly. So these are the features, and if we discuss the criticism, what is the criticism of IT Act? So if it has been asked to you, first criticism is that the issues that are related to, confidential information, and data of corporates and their adequate protection have not been addressed. So it is being said that if there is any kind of a breach that occurs, and if there is any kind of a cyber attack happens where some kind of a confidential information, this issue is related, then what protection has been given to these corporates? The act is not clearly mentioning anything about it. The second point is the maximum damage. As compensation, the amount is only rupees 5 crores. Now again it is being said that if a particular business, if there is a particular corporate business is there, and some kind of a cyber attack is happening to that particular company, that organization, and let us suppose the company is worth 500 crore company, it's a 700 crore company or 1000 crore company, and if some damage happens, and what compensation amount government has fixed, it is just 5 crores. So it is just peanuts for that particular company, and this is not adequate, right? Third point is actually the issues related to spamming that has not been dealt with comprehensive manner. So government should have taken care of these things, and it has not been addressed properly. Apart from this, I will give you some of the sections of the offences, what offences are there and what sections are used accordingly. So first one is, let us suppose it is section 43. So what does section 43 of IT Act deals with? It deals with actually data protection law. So whatever measures are required and illegal data storage is there, so this section is taking care of all these things. B is section 66. So what does section 66 deals with? It deals with hacking of the system present over the network, right? Third is section 66A. 66A deals with sending offensive messages. So if somebody is sending some offending messages, offensive messages, threatening messages, then that person will be dealt with section 66A according to IT Act. And if we talk about section 66B, section 66B deals with dishonesty, particularly regarding stolen computer resources. So if somebody is stealing some information from your system and dishonesty is being shown by that particular identity or hacker, then this section will be into play. I will mention some other sections as well, like section 66C is also there. Section 66C deals with identity theft. Then there is section 66E. 66E deals with particularly violation of privacy. Okay, then there are other sections also, students, like section 69. Section 69 deals with particularly cyber terrorism. You need not to remember everything, but in case if it is being asked, then you must know section 73. There is section 73 also. Section 73 is related to publishing electronic signature which are fake. So false electronic signatures. So I hope now you have a clear idea regarding the Information Technology Act. What are the salient features, amendments in 2008 that were done, and what are the what is the criticism, and what are some of the sections that are related to IT Act. Another measure taken by the government is National Cyber Security Policy of 2013. Main features of Cyber Security Policy 2013 is, first point is the adoption of best global practices in information security and compliance. And finally, what is the aim is? Its aim is to ensure, to enhance the cyber security. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to adopt the best global practices. This is one of the main feature. Second feature is for maintaining, to maintain and create testing infrastructure and facilities of IT security. So these two words are very important: testing infrastructure and that is facilities. So if such things will be there, we will be able to better test whatever research and development we do, and then we can incorporate them for cybersecurity purposes in future as well. Next is the creation of particular institute, that is National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center. I will discuss this particular point in detail, and this particular center needs to be created. It's one of the features of National Cybersecurity Policy of 2013, where it was expected that workforce of approximately 500,000 trained professionals will be trained, like so. This is a requirement and we must fulfill it. Next point is related to the awareness, creating awareness of threats, vulnerabilities and consequences of breach of security. This is fourth point. And fifth point is that we need to educate and needs to have training programs both in formal and informal sectors. Okay students, sixth point is students that we need to create cyber security training infrastructure. I am teaching you this particular topic in detail because a specific question already has been asked in previous year's mains examination, where all these things were actually asked. It is highly unlikely that these things will be asked again, but you should be prepared at your end. So cyber security training infrastructure needs to be developed and that too across the country, using both private and public relationships. Okay students, seventh point is that we need a comprehensive national awareness program on cybersecurity of cyberspace, another important term. So national awareness program on cybersecurity of cyberspace, and ultimately you know cyberspace, the world where all the information is there, that is cyberspace. Next point is that national and global cooperation. This is very important point. And ninth point is that we need to create a mechanism for dialogue related to technical and operational aspects. See students, what I am giving you actually real points that you can directly straight away copy it, paste it in your mains examination. This is actually the answer which I am writing here, and this can be as it is written in the exam. If a same question is asked again, that what is the national cybersecurity policy 2013, if such question is asked again, then you can straight away copy these points and mention it in your exam. I'll give you one more point, 10th point, and this is basically a think tank. We need to establish a think tank for cyber security policy inputs, discussions and deliberations. So whatever we are doing, we need to ensure that there should be some kind of a think tank. We need to ensure that there should be proper dialogue at the both technical level or operational level, then national and global cooperation, then ensuring that there should be public private relationship and partnership should be there to maintain cyber security training. All these things are very general point. You can it will be difficult to make your own points in at the need of the hour where you need to write such answers. But if you have a little bit of understanding of how the policies are being made, these are very common points. Having cooperation with the companies, multinationals, then getting to know about the best practices adopted by the different countries, and then absorb them and adopt them and apply them in your country. These are basic things, and you can mention all these points in your exam if this question is being asked. Next is, students, about the National Digital Communication Policy of 2018. So what all the points that are here, this policy of 2018? First of all, it says that universal broadband connectivity should be there of 50 Mbps to every citizen. Another particular challenge here is to train 1 million manpower on building new age skill. This is another initiative by this particular policy, which is this particular policy is trying to achieve. Then establish a comprehensive data protection regime, definitely, and to all gram panchayats it is being targeted that 1 Gbps connectivity should be there, and it should reach by 2022. Though it has not been achieved because of the COVID-19 pandemic and there are various delays that are happening, but you still remember the point that to gram panchayats also we are trying to establish a connectivity, and that too of a very high good speed. Then Internet of Things is the particular future, and we are focusing of expanding Internet of Things. I will explain Internet of Things in your science and technology lectures, and it is being said that such an ecosystem of 5 billion connected devices that should be achieved. Now, apart from this, what you can write in your exam is that regarding this policy, there are three particular policy envisage three missions basically. So there are three missions that this particular policy is trying to achieve. The first one is actually Connect India. And this is required for creating a robust digital communication infrastructure, right? This is first point. Second point, this particular policy is the second mission of the policy is Propel India. Now, what do you mean by Propel India? It simply means that we want to enable next generation technology and services through investment, innovation and IPR generation, intellectual property rights generation. Okay, these are the two missions. The third mission is actually Secure India. Once you connect India, then you will try to establish the future technologies using the connectivity, and you connect the people using innovations, using creativity, and ultimately you need to secure India as well. This is the third mission. What you want to do is that you want to ensure the sovereignty, safety and security of digital communication. Okay students, so remember these 3 points under the National Digital Communication Policy of 2018. Maybe in general it can be asked to you what are the legislative measures, and collectively you will mention first Information Technology Act, and then you will write the policy of 2013. You can mention through to 3 points, and then you can mention about 2018 policy, and you can regarding this particular 3 missions you can make a triangle and you can mention these 3 points, and you can write in the center about the 3 missions of the policy. So this way you can make things easy. If it is asked not in detail, you can cut it down, or you can elaborately explain if such policy is asked to you in detail in 10 marks. So I have given you both ways the answer, and this will help you in writing good answers in the exam.